Hey there, this is Dr. Cosette M. White, America's #1 advisory accountant and tax expert, serving clients in about 27 states and 4 countries right about now. And what I love most is helping my clients gain clarity and focus as it relates to their finances. Listen, you all, the countdown is on. That's right, it is tax season. And according to the Internal Revenue Service, 6 out of 10 individuals, consumers, will be preparing their taxes themselves. That means that about 4 out of the 10 will be doing a done for you or do it themselves. So I have to ask you guys, if you are looking for a tax preparer, do you know some of the things that you should be, some of the questions is what's key, some of the questions that you should be concerned with to ensure that you are ready, to ensure that you are releasing your information to the right tax preparer. It's not so much about making sure that the numbers are right in the returns, but you want to make sure that you solicit a reputable preparer. When you're interviewing that individual, you want to ask what I call the 5 W's. You want to ask the who, the where, the why, the when, and the what. Those are all key components that will answer some of the questions that may be lurking in the dark about the tax preparer. Just don't think that every tax preparer is, legal beagle. So ask the pertinent questions before you release your information over to someone. The next one is I want you to make sure that you establish how long has this individual been doing taxes. You see, in this industry, people pop up every tax season and call themselves a tax preparer. When lo and behold, they just went to school, got a few of the requirements completed, and now they are a tax preparer. And then we have some of those that are just trained behind the scenes. They're trained by someone else, and they are in the midst of preparing tax returns. Don't truly know the laws, truly know the tax codes, but they're preparing your tax return. And guess what? If they prepare your return and you authorize them to electronically file that return, or if you sign off on that document, you are the one that's actually responsible for the return, not necessarily the tax preparer, unless they have done something fraudulent with the return. And then, of course, they will be held accountable for that income tax return. So make sure that you ask all the pertinent questions, such as how long have they been in business? You also want to make sure that they have the acceptable credentials behind them. As a tax preparer, especially here in the state of California, there are certain things that we must abide by and certain criteria and laws and whatnot that we have to abide by and make sure that they're in place every single tax season. Otherwise, we are subject to being penalized for preparing tax returns, especially if we are charging our clients. So just a tap it, just an insider secret. All you need to go is all you need to do is go to ctec.org. That's ctec.org to determine if your tax preparer is legal beagle, has passed the exam, has registered with the correct agencies, and so on and so forth. Of course, we have to register with the Internal Revenue Service because we have to get special PIN numbers and other information that will directly tie a tax return back to us. So don't think that we're just submitting a return and the IRS doesn't know who that return came from, which tax preparer it came from, which office it came from. Okay? So, which leads me to the next one is to make sure that your tax preparer has what we call a personal tax identification number, or a PTIN. If the person that is preparing your return doesn't have a PTIN, then you might want to grab your paperwork and head on out the door. You might want to be like those others that may end up doing the return themselves. But you seriously, you guys, you want to make sure that the person is legal. You want to make sure that they're solid. You want to make sure that there's no fraudulent things that you just suspect could be possibly going on. And in this day and age, we have to really just follow our intuition. If someone is constantly soliciting that they're going to get you a huge refund, or if you see tax preparer's office where there's tons of people just lined up, I think my antennas would go up because something is probably going on. Not to say that every office that has a line that there's something going on, but 9 times out of 10, something is going on, okay? So the next question, you want to determine if the person that is preparing your return, are they a year-round service or are they just a seasonal service provider? It makes a huge difference because in the summer months, that's typically when the agencies will go out and start sending letters to tax preparers if information was missing, if they didn't report something, or if an audit flags. And you want to ensure that whoever is preparing your return, they are available for you year round so that you have access to them. You also want to ensure that the person is around year round so that should your tax situation change, your financial situation change, you buy a home. I had someone call me today because they were in the state of Las Vegas and wanted to move to the state of California and wanted to know the tax ramifications. The husband accepted a job here in the state of California. They have a home here in California as well. They have two, what we call primary homes. They split their time between the two. So they wanted to know the tax ramification. If that person does not make themselves accessible to you throughout the year, then it's going to be hard for you to chase them down, or you're going to be chasing them down. Should an audit arise? Should you receive a letter from the Internal Revenue Service to simply ask questions? So those are all key pertinent things that you want to ensure when you're looking for someone to hire to do your tax return. So you want to make sure that the representative is answering all your questions, and I call them the 5 W's. Make sure that they can answer any pertinent question that you have before you just release your information to them. Make sure that they are established. Make sure that they have the pertinent credentials behind their name to support what you need, okay? Make sure that they're not just a fly-by-night establishment is basically what I want you guys to do. Like I said, tax preparer offices pop up all the time during tax season. I don't know the success rate, but I can tell you the ones that are new are usually the ones that have high audits, high errors, and just rejects, and a number of different things. So inspect what you expect. All right, inspect what you expect. If you expect for your return to be clean, if you expect for your return to be audit proof, if you expect for your return to just go into the Internal Revenue Service and you get a refund and there's nothing else that happens with that, then you need to inspect what you expect. All right, you can catch me. I am Dr. Cosette M. White. You can find out more information about me by heading over to my business site, which is www.myfinancialhome.com. www.myfinancialhome.com. You can head over there if you want to schedule an appointment. If you would like to get a tax strategy session on the books, we're more than happy to assist you. But make sure you do your homework. All right.